Hey guys, Cloud here. So today I'm going to be watching Top 10 Hilarious Patrick Star Moments. Soon I will be doing...
There's stupidity.
I might do a music video.
Then
I
there's
might do a lyric video or react to a music video. Hope you guys like it.
Welcome to watchmojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Patrick Star moments.
Firmly grasp it!
Why would you ever do that?
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the funniest and most iconic moments involving SpongeBob SquarePants' best friend.
All right, Pinhead, your time is up.
Who you calling Pinhead?
Number 10, It's Not My Wallet.
Okay, Man Ray, are you ready for your first day of goodness school?
Granted, it was probably a bad idea from the beginning to include Patrick
You're supposed to give it to your teacher.
in any scenario that involves teaching someone to be good, because the starfish's ignorance has been known to irritate even the most patient of people. So you can imagine why a supervillain like Man Ray was pushed over the edge. While SpongeBob tries to show the evildoer how to be nice, he asks Patrick to take part in a little role-playing where Man Ray tries to return his dropped wallet. Let's just say it doesn't go so well.
Then take it.
It's not my wallet.
Oh, you gimbo! Take what you wanted, or I'll rip your arms off!
Wrong.
Number 9, Not Until...
Technically, most people probably would do that because it is your wallet and you're trying to give it to him. And he's saying, oh, it's not my wallet. It
4.
is.
See, that's why you must always pay attention to the mountain.
You can always count on Patrick to blurt out the most nonsensical things, even in times of crisis. When a sandboarding accident causes SpongeBob to be sent plummeting towards the ground, Sandy yells out instructions on how to minimize the damage. Patrick chimes in, and what comes out of his mouth is not very helpful. We do learn, however, that he does have something of a schedule for stupidity, as he's gotta go and be an idiot somewhere at 4. Wonder how that turned out.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
Not until 4.
So does that mean that
Number
you have
8.
to be...
Where's the leak, ma'am?
So does that
Aw,
mean
look at him.
that
Ain't he a doll? All he needs is a
you're not
tie.
as smart at...
Patrick really got the short end of the stick when SpongeBob's crudely drawn evil doppelganger came to life and started wreaking all kinds of havoc. Not that we particularly mind, because every time he gets hurt in this episode, it is rather hilarious. One such example is when SpongeBob and Patrick are stuck down a hole of Doodlebob's making. Obviously thinking that it wasn't enough, he decides to drop a doodle wrench on Patrick's head. From the impact, we can only guess that it's just as heavy as a real one.
See what I mean, Patrick?
Where's the leak, ma'am?
Number 7. Push it somewhere else.
I saw it! It was big! It was all wiggly!
In the wake of a giant worm attack, the citizens of Bikini Bottom fear for their lives. While thinking up solutions, Patrick comes up with the initially rejected plan of pushing the entire city to a different location. As it turns out, while the residents seem to have faith in SpongeBob and Sandy's ability to catch the worm, they immediately fall back on Patrick's plan. This turns out to be a good idea with a poor execution, as by the end of the episode, Bikini Bottom winds up getting crushed under said worm. A for effort, though.
Ouch.
Number 6. Wumbo.
I'd like to speak to Murphy.
Is Wumbo even a word? Patrick seems to think so. After accidentally shrinking Squidward with Mermaid Man's stolen utility belt, SpongeBob seeks Patrick's advice on how to fix the problem. His solution is turning the M insignia upside down into a W, essentially turning it from Mini to Wumbo. In fact, Patrick seems to be an expert on the subject, but with his excessive knowledge in Wumbology. As it happens, his argument falls to pieces when he too is shrunk down to minuscule size. So much for Wumbo.
I Wumbo, you Wumbo, he, she, me, Wumbo.
Number 5. Finland.
Oh, I love him.
Doodle Bob strikes again. Literally. And this time, he's armed with a bowling ball. As SpongeBob and Patrick try to figure a way out of the hole after recovering from the wrench to the head, Doodle manages to literally splatter Patrick into several pins with just a single throw. We're guessing that it must have hurt, because when SpongeBob asks if he's okay, he responds like this.
You okay, Patrick?
Finland!
Either Patrick has quite the concussion, or he was hit so hard that he actually ended up in said Nordic country. Number 4. Inner machinations.
Besides, if I showed you what was inside, it wouldn't be a secret anymore. Duh!
Patrick and his antics surrounding the mysterious box that seemed to cause him an endless amount of joy made for one of the funniest episodes of the series, mainly due to both SpongeBob and the audience's growing desire to see what exactly he was hiding in there. Patrick doesn't make it easy though, even lecturing his friend that he couldn't comprehend what's inside, since his innermost thoughts are far too complex for your average undersea folk. This is perfectly encapsulated with the visual representation of a carton of spilled milk. Yep, that's Patrick all right.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Number 3. The Ugly Barnacle.
Oh, hi, Patrick. I'm confused.
Yes, I am.
Patrick, everyone is running away from me.
Patrick may truly care for his friend deep down, but in terms of offering moral support, he is the last person you should go to. When SpongeBob ends up with horrendously bad breath, civilians start running away from him in order to avoid the smell. But thanks to a few offhand remarks by Patrick, he starts to believe it's because he's ugly. Patrick, being the sensitive soul that he is, tries to cheer him up with a story about an ugly barnacle.
Wow.
Except it ends up having the complete opposite effect.
Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
That didn't help at all.
Number 2. Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No,
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
With Patrick's IQ being what it is, you can imagine that his knowledge of musical
IQ is one less than a vegetable.
instruments is about as low as everything else. When Squidward gathers the main residents of Bikini Bottom together to form a marching band, he asks if anyone has any previous experience with any kinds of instruments. As it happens, Patrick does indeed have a back catalog, just as long as you count mayonnaise and horseradish as actual experience. We may never actually get to see him play any condiments, but it can't be denied he is a natural drummer. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology!
Can you take hats in a dignified and sophisticated manner?
You mean like a weenie? Okay. I love you.
Patrick.
I think you laid it on a teensy bit thick there, old pal.
Number 1. No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Not since Leonidas' signature war cry has a phrase been uttered with so much conviction that it resonates within the hearts of warriors everywhere.
This is Sparta!
Though in this case, it's because it's just plain funny. Taken on board as a staff member at the Krusty Krab, Patrick tries his hand working the phone. However, as customers call in and ask if they're indeed calling the right establishment, Patrick gives what can only be considered a legendary response. If you didn't know his name before, you will after this.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No! This is Patrick!
Do you agree?
Well, guys, that's the end of the video. Bye.